What is up, Kryptonians? Thank you so much for tuning into this video. Before I get started with my review, if you could, please leave a like on the video or subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It makes a massive difference and I would definitely appreciate it. Halloween Kills is the follow-up sequel to Halloween, the 2018 movie, which itself is a sequel to the original Halloween, which came out in 1978. They apparently wanted to do away with all of the other sequels and spin-offs and whatever, and so they just decided to make a direct sequel between the two films. And now this is the follow-up, and it supposedly is the second in a new Halloween trilogy. This film is once again directed by David Gordon Green, and it brings back Jamie Lee Curtis as the iconic Laurie Strode. Judy Greer returns in this movie as her daughter. Will Patton shows up in this movie. Kind of hard to talk about the plot for this movie without giving away some spoilers for the end of Halloween 2018, so I mean, spoiler warning, I guess, if you don't want to know what happened at the end of that movie. I'm gonna keep it a stack with you though. If you have not seen Halloween 2018, let's be honest, it's been 3 years. You probably don't want to see the movie at this point. At the end of Halloween 2018, Laurie and Michael get into a big confrontation at her house. Eventually, she and her granddaughter and her daughter trap Michael in her basement, and they light him on fire, and they light the whole damn house on fire. So the beginning of this movie starts with her and her family escaping from the house, and Laurie has to go to the hospital because she has suffered severe injuries from her fight with Michael. And the rest of the movie plays out exactly how you would expect. I mean, Michael Myers is clearly not dead. We've seen over the years, you can't get that man down with nothing. So Michael Myers gets out of the burning house and he starts killing a bunch of people. And so this is all about the town of Haddonfield fighting back against Michael, recruiting each other in big groups so that they can finally hunt down Michael and end his reign of terror once and for all. I actually really enjoyed the 2018 Halloween sequel, reboot, whatever, and I thought that was a really refreshing way to kick off this new trilogy. So I was interested and excited to see how they would follow that up with Halloween Kills. Jamie Lee Curtis, this is her second to last time portraying the character of Laurie, and Laurie is such a damn icon. She's one of my favorite all-time characters, especially in horror movies. Jamie Lee is great in this movie. She's not given that much to do, obviously, because of story-based reasons. I get it. It's one of those things where you understand, but you can't help, like, a little part of you, the fan part of you goes, damn, I wish that Laurie was actually able to do more in this movie. Some of the performances, obviously, they're gonna be a little bit over the top or a little bit campy and a little bit silly, but I think also that's because they're trying to throw this movie back to like the 1970s slasher flick vibes, and so you kind of accept that when you're going through some of the performances in this movie. But if you showed up to watch The Boogeyman, that's exactly what you're gonna get. Michael Myers is back in this movie. He is a badass, and he has quite the body count that he racks up by the time this runtime is over. That's what you want, right? That's what you're excited for. That's what you're showing up to this movie to watch. You just want to see Michael Myers kill as many people, as gross and gory as possible, and he does a pretty good job at that. So if that's what you're in for, you're gonna be reasonably entertained by this movie. Always a nice touch to have John Carpenter and his iconic music from the original Halloween playing once again in this movie. I really appreciated the music, and it really added something to the kill and the gore scenes. Some of the scenes I feel like could have been edited a tad bit better, but that's mostly a nitpick. Honestly, if you're looking for great kills, Michael delivers that in spades. I like the idea that they did try to come up with something interesting as far as uniting the town people to try to take down Michael Myers. Just because the movie has great kills and great gore, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a good movie. And while I can say this movie is entertaining, I can also say that it pretty much isn't for me. I think a big problem with this movie is that it feels very clunky and very messy, and it honestly feels like an occasionally brain-dead interlude to a better, more compelling movie. There's no getting around it, especially by the end of the film. This film feels like it's an advertisement and a commercial for the final film in the trilogy. As a story on its own, it doesn't really hold up. This film does try to tie in the past with a lot of flashbacks and a lot of scenes to connect all of these movies, and it introduces a lot of characters. A lot of people are put into this movie, and the movie wants you to care about these people. Unfortunately, there's so many characters and so few of them are given so little to do and fleshed out that it becomes kind of a hodgepodge of who gives a fuck cannon fodder, right? Like, you're just watching this movie and you just don't care that much about them. You care the most about Laurie Strode and her family, but unfortunately they're not given that much to do in this movie. And then the movie does a thing where it tries to hammer home a theme in the movie about how Michael Myers has transformed the people of this town and turned them into monsters or something. This movie tries to deal with the effect that Michael Myers has psychologically on people, and while it's an interesting idea, I think it's very poorly executed in this movie. It comes across as forced and awkward and ultimately unearned. Once you get past the dumbass writing, it just doesn't hit with the impact or the finality or the emotion that the film is trying to push on you. The idea of Michael Myers having a psychological impact on a community that he's terrorized for 40+ years, that's a good idea. I just wish the people involved in the story based around that idea were more compelling, more interesting. By the end of the film, you just kind of turn your brain off, you ignore all the dumb, illogical, asinine gaps in the writing and then the characters, and you just kind of say, I just want Michael Myers to kill people. The movie surrounding that, it just feels like there's a better movie coming the next time Halloween comes around, and I'm really looking forward to that one. This one, I could skip past it. Halloween Kills was somewhat entertaining, but also somewhat disappointing. I am going to leave this one in the Fortress of Solitude. Those are my thoughts on Halloween Kills, so tell me, what is your favorite Halloween movie of all time? Put that in the comment section down below. Please like and subscribe to the Superfan Show, and if you like what you see, tell me how you feel, and stay tuned to hear more from the Man of Steel. Peace.